My presentation,
죄송합니다.
my presentation is going to be very simple. It's just about the trouble I had yesterday, and I solving one by one, and I finally uploaded this to main PyPI, so you can install this directly. So first challenge I had yesterday is like setup tools version. So if you go to this link, if you go click on this link, there's something called this, because I had this error in when I tried to run some command for distributing packet. The reason is that before PP639 was introduced, license should include all the license text in Apache with this schema, file or text. So in file case, you can copy Apache the file to Apache here, or you can have to copy include all the content I I mean all the content inside the license file here. But now after PP639, it's just enough to have like license with Apache 2.0. It's all because there are license that is mostly widely used. So it's just if you want to include file, you can use license files, or if you just mention that this license is one of your famous license, that is enough to say that license is following Apache 2.0. So, but as is specified, but here, so recently for distributing, we're using, depending on using PyProject.toml file, there you can specify which build tool you want to use. We are using setup tools, and this is supported after this version. That's why I have commit of changing the version for SetupPy. The minimum version for setup tools is set to this number. That's one of the commit. Another challenge that I have is like, so for macOS, so if you can see, so after building your Python, the name is something like your Python package name and CP versions, 311, and then your platform, Linux or Mac OS, with, in our case, Mac OS underscore 15 underscore 0, and then arc should be followed. I thought that this arc, because we are using ARM64, I tried to build this with the ARM64, but it doesn't work because the supported arc is one of these. So
ARM64. You mean
yeah, Universe 2 contains ARM64. So
what is the CPU?
C Python 3.11. 3.14, something like that. So yeah, that's one of another point that I was very hard. So if I try to install this, your architecture doesn't support Python package, something like that. So why? Because the ARM64 is my architecture, and that's how I solved. So if you want to build, but now it doesn't need this. I need this flag before I applying the change of this. So now you don't have to specify this, but back then with the previous setup.py, you need to specify this.
And how do you build for a different platform? Is it possible?
Yes, that's I'm going to talk about with the CI bit wheel. So how, and the last question, then how did you get Mac OS X and Y? You get this using this command. And for Linux, and I also tried to find a solution that there are a lot of Linux distribution, and how do I get the output for Linux? And then the answer is you can, if you use this solution, CI build package, it automatically download Docker image based on many Linux, or there are two different Linux. One is many Linux, the other is most Linux. This is using glibc, and this use another libc, and this is very similar to Alpine Linux or embedded, and this is supported by many desktop Linux, Ubuntu, Fedora, Red Hat, something like that. So currently x86 version, it only support many Linux version, but ARM case, because ARM is very used in embedded environments, right? So when you try to build Linux package on ARM64 architecture, it also tried to build with this Linux version, but currently I have an issue with this. I left this in here. Issue is on Mac. This will affect with this error. I don't know, but it has an issue when calling buzzer input output base command. But yeah, I'm also talk about this soon. So yeah, I know this, and I try to make a package using CI build with, but I had another problem. It says that you're making a pure Python package, then you don't have to use CI build with. This is the error message. And the reason because is yeah, and I look at the source code of the PyPI CI build with. This is the reason that I get this error. So yeah, so don't my will output will ends with don't any, and non is supposed to be Linux or Mac or something like that. Any is supposed to be architecture. So why? And then yeah, so if you, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't specify platform flag, you get this. And this is because I didn't use extend. I mean, do you remember back then? So existing MLD types, they're using like 10, 610 something, and then I need to specify all the sources right here. And then I added one by one, and then it's already solution. Then, so I just create a Bezier output, and I just copy it to the side paste directly. That's my solution. And if you don't use this extend, your output will is always going to be not any.
Even if you specify the platform.
In the CI build will, there's no command or option to specify platform. Or there's a way. If you can modify this source code, it can be, I mean, tuned for our purpose. But the problem is like, then what if we want to, I mean, upgrade this version? It is not maintainable. So my solution is, so my another challenge is like, then how do I get list all the source dependency automatically with a Prairie solution? That's my another goal. And I found out this. So in Bazel, if you run this command, Bazel query source file depth with your target and give an option with the output location, then you get this. Then you get all the source dependencies. And the problem is like, then how do I remove? How do I know this value with another, command? And you can obtain this via Bazel input output base. Then you get the path to this. Then you obtain all the information you need. Like, so new setup pi is something like this. So I restore this again and get sources. Like, you first run basic query command, and if it's now it's modified thanks to Gemini. There's supposed to be there's pretty. So yeah, I didn't know that this ends with can accept the tuple. So this is, I guess, the modified version. So if path ends with C or CC or CPP, then it is accumulated into sources. And then instead of listing all the sources manually, I just use this function. And because I know this header is included, so what you need to do manually is only this. Now then you can solve this issue. Like, now if you now you run this again, then you get this also this is modified too, Pi 3.11 and Mac OS and ARM64 universal too. Automatically
So
set.
source file, how you copy source file is affecting.
Source file is already in my locker.
Yeah, I mean, like, so you, what you want to change is how you copy the source files to the directory, right? No?
No, source file is not copied.
So what changes like in the line, the external.
So what is different from before? I mean,
Before-
There were like hella lines in this setup.
Before I build outside of
Yes.
the setup the Pi because I have this share library in this path.
Mhm.
So I just copy to the destination path. And then now I don't copy at all. I just let setup Pi know that in order to build this SO, you need this source file and you need these headers.
I meant like, so previously in here, you just had to, instead of get sources, you just had like more complicated method to list all the.
No. Previously there's no method. So if you go to MLD types,
Okay, yeah, you have to manually. write
yeah,
them.
yes. Previously, this is the
Yeah. So, but then you modified, like, without the query, you had some helper also.
yeah, that's this.
Yeah, so with this, it didn't also work, right?
Yes, it didn't work.
In this case, you used package data.
Yeah.
Then you switch to source files and it worked,
Yes,
basically.
yes. Now it knows that it's not a pure Python, and I get the proper, platform and platform architecture.
Forgot that is in order to use where the CI build package. Something.
Yeah. So if you now, so how do I show this? So for Mac, because I don't know how to use QEMU in Docker image. So in CI server, it only can create an image for x86. So the weirdest Android x86 is output from this GPU server machine. Other than that, this Mac OS, I created this manually with these commands. I create this with this command with a different Python version. I install Python version 3.11 to 3.13, and I manually code this. And for Arc, I run the CI build in the Mac. So
So you can't build Mac wheel outside of Mac. You can't build on the GPU server, for example.
you cannot. I think you have to install QEMU inside the GPU server, and you need somehow link
Docker.
with the QEMU if architecture is different. But I don't know how to do that, so I give up. But eventually, we want to have such a system because it takes so long. So I want to automate it later, eventually.
It takes long because it's manual, right? The actual build doesn't take long, right? Or it doesn't.
Build takes long. I think setup Pi build is not that efficient.
So you think Torch will be way longer?
Could be. Because it builds CKX.
Maybe we have narrowed down the supported architecture then.
This is already narrowed down version.
See.
There are very many platforms, there are many architecture. So I just narrowed down the most widely used version.
Update my Python. I
know on the Docker side, they supported the multi-architecture building, but there's so many bugs out there.
Mm.
It's really wrong time to build like a unsupported architecture on your desktop. So
Mm,
I guess we may have, if we are building some of the CI pipeline of this, again, we have to think about
Buy a machine?
There will be service.
I see.
Yeah, I guess.
I see. I see.
You mean like Mac server kind of?
I mean, there is like a third-party service for the CI pipeline, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah, then this more makes sense than using some of the multi-architecture solution. Yeah.
So now there are three ways of getting package. One is like PI insert point dot. Output is like it directly copy the required first side package, but the problem is slow. Like Bazel build is much faster. I think it's because of like Zetterpy command is not parallelized. Oh, for example, like the Bazel, we already make a graph and then so the GCC can be invoked. I mean, in the unit of node, right? Graph node. But as you can see, Zetterpy, I list all the sources that I need. I compile one and link all at once, right? That's why I think it's so slow. That's one reason, I guess. And another problem that I found from PIP instant point is like build is cached without knowledge of source change. So if you modify source, if you invoke this command, it actually build, but it doesn't affect your real Python. So that's another problem that I faced yesterday because I explicitly changed the source and I call pip insert dot, but it doesn't change the output. Yeah, so in order to, invalidate the cache, you need to remove. So after this, you get the build directory. So you need to make sure that you remove build directory before install this. And another way of getting packaging is like calling this in command. The output is like this under disk slash blah 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 that will be also slow because of they're using the same mechanism of Zetterpy. Another way to get a package is like this. So Bazel is very fast and cache efficiently and directly copy the record files to Bazel output. So it's hard to like import. It's hard to import outside the Bazel system, but inside, like you can. That's how we can run a Python test with the Bazel build system. Yeah, warning I already mentioned. One issue is like so if you run CI build on Mac, so it fails when it starts to create a package using this image. That's all.
So the recommended way is we just Bazel build and then
Yeah.
copy from the Bazel output. Kind of?
No. Locally, you use this for. This is not recommended. You don't have to use this at all.
Yeah. So what I mean is, so from the first column, I thought the wheel
Column
will be
or first row?
generated- First column.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it means like the wheel is generated in the Bazel output.
I'm not sure whether wheel is generated or what kind of things is generated inside, but that's how you can run a test with a Python.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, I mean, why not just use the third one at all times?
Because I need this output.
So the third one, the wheel is not generated?
Yeah, that's I mentioned. GKD types where is not supported. So if you package, so there's a rule for PyWheel. Currently, only pure Python wheels are supported. So they are PyWheel and they are PyDist wheel. Yeah. So if you or Python only have contain only Python file, distribution can be also automated, kind of. But it only supports pure Python.
So now Torch will depend on the TKD types.
Yes. Now I'm trying to link these together.
Nice test.
Torch G and soon.
Soon, yeah. Stop recording.